Yo, what's up everybody? Jumping here. Today I have a ridiculous Destiny 2 video for you guys. If you don't know, recently through an update, they added in Masterwork armors. Now the Masterwork armors will give you damage resistance when you're in your super, but the main thing that you can do with the Masterwork armors is you can actually reroll your stats. So if you have an armor set that you really like the appearance to, but let's say it has bad stats like mobility, you can actually change that now to resilience or to recovery. And that's really cool. And I knew about this for a while now, so I decided I wanted to grind so that I could get as many Masterwork cores as possible so that I can make all the armor sets that I have Masterwork. That was my plan. So every single day for an entire month, I signed into Destiny 2 and I did every single challenge on every single planet to get as many tokens as I could, knowing that once those Masterwork armors came out, I could turn all those tokens into vendors and I can get Masterwork weapons and armor from the vendors, and I can break all that down into Masterwork cores. So that was my plan. And from doing that, I got a lot of tokens. I got a ton of tokens. So let me go and show you guys how many I have. I counted this. I had 19,804 tokens. Now, feel free to go ahead and count it yourself. I'm not really good at math, so maybe I miscounted it. But that's a lot of tokens. Let's just say that it's 20,000 tokens. Because I did not actually count any of my resources. I will be turning all this in, including the resources, so this should be really interesting. Now, one thing I will say is that I did count the gunsmith materials as tokens, because technically they are tokens. But this should be extremely interesting to see how many Masterworks can we get from 20,000 tokens. That will be epic. Now, let's keep in mind, I already have 71 Masterwork cores. So try to remember that, because by the end of the video, let's see how many Masterwork cores I have. Because I'm going to be breaking down a ton of Masterworks. Unless it's a weapon that I really want to keep, I will be breaking it down. Because I really just want the cores so that I can go ahead and make all the armors that I like in the game Masterwork. That is the goal. I also have 12,084 legendary shards. So by the end of the video, let's see how many legendary shards I'll have. Because every time I break things down, I'm going to get 3 legendary shards. And this will be ridiculous for sure. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit this video. It's going to take me way too long to turn in all these tokens. I'm going to have to constantly organize my inventory, break things down, go to my postmaster. It's going to take hours to probably turn in all these tokens. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you guys all the Masterworks that I get. I'm going to make it into a little montage or something. And then at the end of the video, we can go ahead and talk again and pretty much show how many Masterwork cores I got, how many legendary shards I got, and all the different Masterworks that I might have kept, because I might keep some of them. So that's going to be pretty much how I'm going to do the video. But we're going to start here in the tower. I'm going to go to every single vendor, turn in all these tokens, and let's see what we get. Alrighty guys, well I am finally done. My body is aching. I'm literally in pain because that was so painful and long. But I ended up spending about 24,000 tokens because I ended up getting 4,000 additional gunsmith material, which I didn't even think about ahead of time. So if you want to count the gunsmith material as tokens, which I do, it ended up being about 24,000 tokens. That's absolutely insane. But let's talk about what I got. First things first, let's talk about the shards. I am now at 16,246. That is an increase of over 4,000. And that's pretty cool, although I have so many shards because there's nothing to spend it on, so there's really no point. But I did get a lot of shards, as you can see. I also got a bunch of weapons that I want to keep. I have this Lost Prophecy weapon. I'm just keeping it because it's a Lost Prophecy weapon. I don't really like this weapon, but it's whatever. It also has reload speed, which is always good for a Masterwork. I have a Nightshade. I didn't have a Nightshade Masterwork at all, so I'm actually kind of happy about this. I don't really like pulse rifles, but I know that this one is actually really good, and I do like using this from time to time because of kill clip. I got an origin story, which I already had one Masterwork origin story, but now I have two, so I'm actually really happy about that. I also got two Nameless Midnights. Now, the Nameless Midnight is one of the best scout rifles in the entire game, and I already had one that was Masterwork, but now I have three, so I can pretty much just put one on each of my people, and I'm pretty much good to go. I don't have to use my phone app with the Vault or anything like that, which I definitely like that a lot. One has reload speed on it, so this is pretty much a good roll. Anything with reload speed for a Masterwork is generally pretty good. Now, for my energy weapons, I got a Uriel's Gift. I actually got two Uriel's Gifts, and that's really cool. I already had one. Once again, I'm just going to give one to each of my people, and I'll be good to go. Don't need to use my phone app. This is still a God Gun in the Crucible, so I'm actually really happy about that. I got a Phosphorus, which this is actually a really good SMG. If you've never used it before, I actually recommend trying it out just because it is actually a really decent one. I have reload speed on it. I'm assuming that should be pretty good, and I am kind of happy about that. I got a Last Hope. I don't ever use the Last Hope. I know that this was such a god gun at one point. I'm not sure if it still is like a really great gun in the Crucible, but I'm assuming it probably is. So I'm going to keep it just because. And I also got two Curtain Calls. Now, these are awesome because I didn't have a Curtain Call Masterwork at all. And this is a really, really good rocket launcher. The Sense of the Past is only better because of the perk that will make it auto-reload. But what you can do with the Masterwork is you can get reload speed on it. And then if you have a mod which will improve your reload speed of your power weapon, this thing will reload so fast that it kind of negates the perk of the Sense of the Past. Like, you just reload the rocket launcher. It's not a problem. The reason why the Curtain Call can be better than the Sins is because of the rounds per minute. It shoots faster. So if you're fighting a raid boss, you can actually use this and shoot it off a lot faster than the Sins if you're using like a rally barricade. So this is definitely a really great rocket launcher. It's definitely your boss killer rocket launcher, where the Sins is your rocket launcher you want to use on mobs of enemies because of the blast radius. Now let's talk about the main thing I was going for, which is the Masterwork cores. I got 220 now. That's really cool. I'm pretty sure that's an increase of 159. So that's kind of awesome, I guess. But with 220 Masterwork cores, I should be able to absolutely Masterwork all the armor sets that I really like. I have not that many I want to Masterwork, but I also have to re-roll them. It only is going to cost me one Masterwork core to re-roll a Masterwork armor, though, which is pretty great. So I should be able to get all my sets that I really like, Masterwork, and re-roll them to what I want, which is all recovery. I just like recovery. I don't like mobility. I mean, resilience can be kind of good, but I definitely like recovery. That's what I want overall. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So I ended up getting a bunch of Masterwork cores. I got a bunch of shards, got a couple weapons that I really like. But you know what was really crazy? I got one exotic. One exotic out of 24,000 tokens. Come on, Bungie, that's pretty bad. I've actually gotten a lot of exotics from vendors randomly. It happens all the time. But today, one exotic. That was absolutely insane. But that's going to pretty much do it for the video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.